Welcome to your Conscious Living programming for May. My name is Devin, and our theme for this month is the Divine Feminine. So, this is a huge term, and we're hearing the Divine Feminine pretty much everywhere in the yoga and wellness world. So, the intention for this program is to understand what the Divine Feminine is and how we can practice it to add layers of depth and meaning to our lives. So I'll say before we get started that this program is for anybody, however you identify. It's for both men and women. We all have the divine feminine inside of us, just like we all have the divine masculine inside of us. And so this is really just about working with that side of the spectrum. And that will become clear as this program unfolds, how it's really relevant to all identities. So week one, we are just going to start learning more about the divine feminine. Like I said, it's a really massive concept. And so to best understand it, we can start by looking at and understanding the divine feminine with archetypes. And archetypes are basically different personas or character qualities. I really just like to say personalities that can help us understand the many facets of the feminine. So as I walk through the main 7 archetypes of the divine feminine, what you'll notice is that you gravitate towards some and then you're not as interested in others. Pay attention to that, and then we'll talk about it after I go through the archetypes. Okay, so the first archetype of the divine feminine is what's called the lover. And that's basically the gateway to our sensualities. The lover is creative and passionate and captivating. So if you just think about the word lover, we all have this kind of intuitive understanding of what a lover is, and it's that side of the feminine that this archetype represents. The next one is the huntress, and that's a fiercer side of the feminine. So we can think of the huntress as like a warrior spirit or an independent woman. So it's that kind of fierce, bolder side of femininity. The next is the maiden, which is a pretty interesting one, actually. So the maiden is a little bit of innocence and actually darkness. And so we can think about the maiden as the aspects of our femininity that are unawakened or kind of in the dark. And so the maiden sides of femininity can be attracted to difficulty or attracted to challenge. And that's actually a necessary part of the divine feminine to kind of awaken the more mature archetypes of the divine feminine. After that, we have the sage, and the sage is basically the wise woman. So the traits of this archetype are wisdom, accomplishments, and the ability to manage our emotions. So we know that the emotions are very feminine in nature, and so the sage has this ability to manage her emotional body or your emotional body. The next archetype is the queen, and as we intuitively understand this archetype is about confidence and leadership. This archetype is very much about finding allies and real friendship. And then, of course, there's that luxurious side of the queen archetype. So it's very much about like the finer things in life and the appreciation for them with this archetype. Then we have the mother, which we all understand as very central to the divine feminine. And this is something that will kind of unfold throughout the months. But the mother is nurturing, and this archetype is all about unconditional love. So the role of the feminine is very much to teach love, teaching men how to love, and teaching us how to connect to our heart. And so this mother archetype is really important. And then lastly, so the 7th archetype of the divine feminine is the mystic. And this is all about freedom and inner peace. And then also like our connection to the mystery and the greater unknown. So the mystic is just that almost mysterious side of the feminine. So these are the 7 archetypes, and it's a very surface level dive into each of them. But probably what you notice is that you gravitate towards some and then move away from others. And the truth is that we're not all one or the other. We all have bits of all 7 archetypes, and we need all 7 archetypes to be fully balanced in our feminine. So throughout the month, as we learn more about this concept, the invitation is for you to look at the areas that need some attention. Like, what are the archetypes that are already really strong, if not maybe overboard? And what are the areas that really need some attention and intention? What are the archetypes that really could share the spotlight for a while? So I would encourage you to think about these archetypes and then do some journaling about them. The best way that we can really introspect about all of this is just take a closer look and write down, like, what are the things that are charming about these different archetypes, which ones are calling you and which ones are you repulsed by, and then kind of navigating the journey from there. So archetypes are our starting point. We've got 3 more weeks of diving deeper into the divine feminine and understanding how the feminine energy is critical to our well-being. So thanks for tuning in. As always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me or Alyssa or anybody else on our team, and we are here to support you.